Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is actually set to release on November 11th. And today we are going to be going over the fact that we have even more details that apparently leaked for this game. It seems like almost every single piece of detail we have so far has actually come from a leak. The game has not been officially revealed just yet, but of course, we've seen trophies, we have the release date, we've seen store pages, and now we have a ratings board's classification giving us the confirmation that this game will indeed be launching in multiple platforms. Now, for those who don't necessarily know and need some clarification, basically all the information that we have so far has come from PlayStation sources. Essentially, the first time that we got confirmation that this game was coming was directly from the PlayStation Store. Essentially, a couple of images showed up there, a little bit of a light description for the game showed up officially in the PlayStation Store that was quickly scrubbed and removed and then basically went away. Last week, I made a video covering the fact that PlayStationDeals.net, PSDeals.net to be specific, huge shout out to them of course, went ahead and posted basically some of the trophies, couple of images, and the full game description, and of course the release date as well. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you didn't necessarily catch those details, so you can watch the information available there, as we also got to see the fact that there is going to be a PlayStation version, a PlayStation 5 version as well will be coming, and PlayStation 4 is actually going to get a physical release as well, not just digital like the PlayStation 5. And the confirmation that we got today that it's actually coming to multiple platforms is coming directly from the classification boards for Australia. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for that as well, which basically gives us a little bit more details. Now, first and foremost, they mentioned that the game is going to have mature themes and violence as well, and is going to be rated M. They mentioned that this was actually done back on April 22nd. Rating boards usually, aren't necessarily too specific when it comes to dates. The information appears early, sometimes appears late. So this being applied for by Square Enix back on the 22nd isn't really that much of a surprise that it took them a while to get to it. Now, they mentioned that the M rating basically comes from violence and themes, essentially, struggles, war, and stuff like that. That is most likely going to get you an M rating, and we presume that this is going to stick to a worldwide release as well. They're not just going to change it to a PG game, for like Europe or North America. They're just going to keep that the way that it is. Language is mild impact, so there might be some cussing here and there, but probably not much. Drug use, there's none. Nudity, sadly, missed opportunity, there is none. Joking, of course. And of course, mild impacts when it comes to sexual themes. And so this is something that they do touch upon. When it comes to industry details, however, and this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, they mentioned that, of course, the classification date was done on April 22nd. Year of production is going to be, of course, this year. Classification M for mature themes and violence. Category for computer games and category details are the same as well. And the media type is multi-platform. Now, of course, originally, like I mentioned before, people were expecting this to just appear on PlayStation, because all the information that we were getting was just coming from PlayStation outlets. But I pointed out several times in my previous two videos already covering the leaks that this game was most likely going to be appearing on the Nintendo Switch, or at the very least on PC. Square Enix has been very, very supportive of PC as of late, so even if it wasn't coming to Switch or even Xbox for that matter, it was at the very least going to be appearing on PC. And now we have at the very least the direct confirmation from Square Enix that this game will be appearing on multiple platforms. As to what those platforms are, still not necessarily sure. They haven't necessarily told us. But what this says to me is that PC is pretty much guaranteed, because that's going to be a given. Nintendo Switch is most likely also in tow. And Xbox, Square Enix multi-platform games has been supporting Xbox lately. So most likely Xbox is also going to make the cut. So, that shouldn't be that much of a surprise. They mentioned the version is original, although we do know that this is basically an up-res visually, remaster, not full remake. They mentioned the duration is variable. Of course, that varies from person to person. Author and publisher are Square Enix. Production company is not specified. Country of origin, Japan. Languages supported are, of course, English. But of course, the interesting thing here is that Bandai Namco Entertainment for Australia is actually going to be publishing the game, not Square Enix, which I do find fascinating in that regard, that they would make a deal with Bandai Namco to go ahead and get the publishing rights for the game, and then Square Enix is just, of course, going to be the developer. I have seen a couple of people suggest that this must actually just end up getting announced randomly on Twitter and shadow dropped. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, this game is going to be releasing on November 11th worldwide. We already have that confirmation from psdeals.net. Again, link in the description below for that. So, you know, it's not going to get shadow dropped or anything like that. Presumably, my guess is that they're going to show this off on YouTube somewhere, a Twitter post by PlayStation, you know, Square Enix, whomever wants to actually get the news first. I don't know if there's going to be a Nintendo Direct anytime soon or a PlayStation Direct or anything like that. So maybe this is just going to end up getting announced on Twitter, and then with the confirmation that, yes, it's coming to all the consoles that you would actually expect it and hope it for actually appearing on. So it's definitely going to be one of those games that Square Enix is going to try to squeeze out as many profits as possible, so there's no reason why it would ever be exclusive to just PlayStation or anything like that. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.